Hello and welcome to another edition of the Visual Market Update. And this week was very interesting in the markets, and what you're currently looking at is a chart of the euro versus the US dollar. And we see that the euro is moving down against the US dollar. So this chart is in a downward trajectory, and we see that the US dollar is strengthening versus the euro. So this is a chart of the euro versus US dollar on the currency markets, and we see that the market is moving downward. Taking a look at the US dollar index, we see that the market has made a new high, and as we spoke about in the podcast,
and the market
this is a level we have not seen since the 2010
into the 1920
high that was
era,
made
just above 1920. But today,
right here. So critical resistance in the US dollar will be up at this $90 level.
Expect is
the market has to punch through this level in order to see more gains in the US dollar. If the market fails at this 90 level, we could see a pretty significant sell-off in the market. So this 90 level is critical for the fate of the US dollar. Okay, looking at the stock market, we see that the S&P 500
may be in for
the S&P 500
weakness, so we'll keep an eye out.
Did not manage to close at a new high, but it closed at
things remain
just below the high at 2018, and we see that the recovery that the market has made has been pretty strong from the sell-off that was
so we see
that
the market
happened earlier in October. This was a sell-off, and the market has rebounded nicely, giving us a buy signal. And
point, let's call this point D,
our systems are currently long,
which is higher
the
than
stock
B,
market,
which is higher than A.
Taking a look at
and so forth. So we're
the support and resistance areas, as you can see quite clearly here. Resistance
higher lows will end
is at this previous high that was made
pretty significantly,
but
for now
September.
the market is in an
So
uptrend.
this 2019 era is pretty significant resistance, and if the market does rally above that, that will be very good for the bulls.
We're up quite
support
significantly
comes in firstly at the 1920 level. We have a Fibonacci support level, and also 18
below
at the previous low that was made
market
at 1820.
And
so those are the critical areas of support and resistance.
Pretty good. So
taking a look at the Nasdaq,
we're going to keep an eye out.
The Nasdaq did make a new closing high.
What would cause concern
and
is
closed out the week at 41.58
at 16.
And this has been a multi-year high in the Nasdaq. Let me take a look at the monthly chart.
In danger.
We are at levels that we didn't see
Nasdaq
until
Nasdaq
the
has
year
been
2000, 99, 2000.
Recently.
So we are at
has definitely
over 10, 12, 13 year high in
rally
the Nasdaq
off of the lows
which is quite good for the Nasdaq market.
Similarly with the Dow and
taking a look at the Dow, we are also at new highs in the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
Now a question,
we closed the week out at 17,390.
What posture I'm taking,
and this is an all-time high and an all-time closing high for the Dow. So the stock markets are fairly positive at this moment. Now on the podcast, we spoke about the fact that the U.S. markets are at new highs, while the European markets are
committed.
Not at new highs.
I see that
and the first market is
still in an uptrend.
The German DAX,
so
and
I'm not putting on new positions at this point.
That the DAX, the high that was made in the DAX was made in the middle of June here.
Now, as I keep saying,
this was the high that was made.
Will turn into a
and
downtrend.
The market is
we will
diverging.
Then change we will then change
and
our
it's not
posturing at
making
that
new
point in
highs.
time.
And also the
We're not
FTSE,
here to predict anything. We're just here
the
to follow what the
FTSE
prices are telling us, and
over
they're
there in
telling us we're
England
in an
is
uptrend.
not at a new
Of
high,
great
and we
interest
see that the new high, the
over
high that was
last
made
couple
was
of weeks
made
was the strength in the
back
US dollar,
in
and after
August, early September, and
folks saying that the
we are
dollar
not
is back,
at a new
we
high
have
here.
had
So
a pretty significant pullback.
that is signaling that the
week so
markets
far.
are diverging.
Now, what's
and
happening
what
in the dollar?
we spoke about in the
see that the
podcast
market
is
broke
that
out
the
of
previous
a
highs that were
longer
made
term
in these markets
consolidation pattern. This is a
in
monthly
2000
chart of
and
the
2007.
this is what we call in technical analysis.
The FTSE actually gave a signal and made a high before
pattern, not really
the S&P 500
going up
in
much,
both
not
cases.
really going down much. And
The high
broke out of this
was made in late
consolidation
1999,
which
and
could
also in
signal
July
further gains for
2007.
the dollar.
While S&P 500 in
So we'll
1999,
keep an eye out on that.
2000,
But for now, the dollar
topped
is
out in March
a pretty strong
2000,
uptrend.
and
we
topped out
we are
in
getting
October
some
in
pullback,
2007.
Currently.
So the
And we'll
FTSE
just have
over
to
the
watch
last two rally
the
attempts
direction in the dollar. Some good plays
has
that
served as
were
a
made
leading
recently
indicator
was
for
a
the
down
market.
move in the Australian dollar.
So that's just something to keep in
It's the
mind. I'm
US
not
dollar
saying markets are
gaining
going to
against
turn
the
around,
Australian
no,
dollar.
but that's just
It's the
something to
US
keep
dollar
in mind.
Gaining
Now,
against the Japanese yen.
The
So
chart of the week
we have
essentially
seen
is
some
the
pretty
gold
good
market,
moves in
and
the dollar that
we
would have
saw
offered some good
that
profitable
gold
opportunities
close below
for the
critical
diversified
support.
investor.
Now, the critical area of support
Okay,
in
taking
gold that
another
I've been speaking
market
about
of
is
great interest
down
is
here at
gold. We see
this
if you notice the
1180-ish
consolidation in
level.
the US dollar. We also see a
We saw that the
consolidation
market
here
came
in
down to the
gold.
level here,
And
rallied, tested
we
it
see that the
here,
market is in a
rallied,
broader
tested it
downtrend.
again, had
But
a rally.
since the middle
Market
of
waved
2013,
down,
we
tested
are
it
in
again,
a
we had a
triangular
slight rally,
consolidation
and now the
pattern,
market has closed below that
the
level.
high being
So if we do
just
get
up
follow
below
through selling
1450
and we see that the
and
market
below
hits the 1150,
being
1140
just
level,
above
that will be very
1170.
bearish, and we will see further
Now,
selling in the market.
This consolidation
If the market
has
somehow
lasted
snaps back
over
and
a
is
year
able to close
to a
above
year
this
and a half so
1260
far. So what
swing
we can
high,
see, or
we
what
could
we're
see a
looking
pretty
for is to
significant
see
rally
if the
in
market
gold. So
breaks
those are
out
the
of
levels
this
to look out for:
consolidation
1150
pattern.
and
If it breaks
1260.
to the downside, we
And our
could see a
systems
pretty
still
significant
remain
move
on the
down
short
in
side
the
of
gold
this market. And
And
the
a
reason
rule of
we're on the
price
short side
analysis
is
is
because the
sometimes
market is
will
in
exit
a downtrend, and we just follow
the
what the
direction
trends
it
are
came.
telling us.
So
And the trend
it
is
was
telling us
coming-
to
it-
be on the
sorry.
short side. So
It
we are
entered
on
the
the short side.
consolidation in a downtrend.
Okay,
So it may
thank you
exit
very
in a
much for
downtrend.
listening.
But
If
as
you would
usual,
like
we
more
let prices
market
guide what we're
updates, you can go
doing.
to
And what we're seeing this
smartinvestorcentral.com
week is that gold
/market
is seeing
updates and sign up
pretty good
for
support down
live
at
market
12,
updates.
down at the 11,
Or you can
8,
click the link
11.
below
We
this
see that the
video. You
market
should
bounced
see
off of this
a
11.8 level, which
a
should give
link that
some
you
hope
can
for
sign
the
up to
gold
receive
bulls.
actionable
But
market
if this
updates. So
11.8 level is lost
you don't
and the market
you don't miss out on
declines
any
below it,
of
we could see a
the
pretty
technical
significant
updates that
move
we
down
publish.
in gold.
Okay, thank you very much
Pressure
for
wouldn't be
listening, and
taken
have
off of the
a good
downside
trading
until the
week.
market is able to close above 1350. So the levels in gold is 1350 and 1180. Looking at the crude oil market, we see that this market is also in a broader consolidation with some slight negative price movements. Currently, price of oil is coming down off of a high of just below 108, and again the market is in some consolidation. Let me just draw it to illustrate it here. Market is in a triangular consolidation that has lasted ever since 2011. And why you haven't seen recent highs in oil is because the market did not eclipse the high that was made in mid 2008. So after 2008, we had a huge collapse. The market recovered and has just been in a consolidation pattern ever since. So that's what's happening in the oil market. Another market of interest, we're going to take a look at the 30-year bond market. And we see that bonds are attempting to rally again. So that is something we will keep an eye out on in terms of a market that is possibly looking to start trending. So exactly what's happening in the markets, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please send it to my email, info@smartinvestorcentral.com, info@smartinvestorcentral.com. Please look out for my podcast on iTunes, the Smart Investor Podcast. And if you like this video, you can hit subscribe on YouTube or wherever you are watching the video. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening.